Scrum versus Agile, versus almost like they're in competition with each other. We already have a session that explains Scrum very briefly. We have a session that explains agility very briefly. But this session is specifically dedicated to this question, what's the difference? In fact, I've worked with some organizations where the common term that floats around regarding their movement is Agile Scrum. Like, well, I hadn't heard that before. And I started poking around and realizing that there's still some lack of clarity around the distinction between the two. The good news is it's a very simple explanation that defines the difference. Agile is something you are, Scrum is something you do. So, regarding what you are, what you believe in, how you think about things, how you view the world and the work environment and the people, right? That's Agile. Agile is a value system. Under the Agile umbrella, right, which is a broad covering, we could look at that umbrella as this mindset, right? Agility. And we can look at the Agile Manifesto for software delivery, as a good primary reference for that understanding, but it has more to do with how we think about things. Under the umbrella, we have many opportunities for how we respond to that way of thinking. What do we do with that way of thinking? Many different agile frameworks over the course of the past 20, 25 years. Alistair Coburn came up with his crystal model, for example. The PMI, the Project Management Institute, has chosen disciplined agile delivery as their preferred framework. There's XP, extreme programming. There's Kanban. There's organization-wide frameworks like Scaled Agile Framework and Large Scale Scrum. XP, I mentioned already, often gets blended in with other frameworks. So does Kanban, often gets blended in with other frameworks. Scrum is one of these frameworks. It happens to be by far the most popular. Most organizations that claim they are agile say that they are doing Scrum or something like Scrum, some modified version of it. So we had the thinking, we had the doing. Now, which comes first? You'll hear arguments on both sides. You'll hear the argument that says, "Oh no, the thinking has to come first because once you understand what your values are, you can now execute." Makes perfect sense. I have no objection to that. I also have seen the reverse of that, where people haven't yet adopted the change in mentality, but we ask them to start doing things differently. And through the doing, they come to see things differently, to think about things differently. So that approach is more of the grassroots, bottom-up approach, right? Start with doing and continue to promote the thought processes around that. The other approach, of course, would be top-down, right? Start with the thinking, with leadership leading the way about this new way of working, and then we build into our model how we're going to execute on that. Hope that clarifies things. If you need a little more information, go back to our primer episodes on what is Scrum and what is Agile. Thank you.